Good evening, everybody, and welcome to URC Xbox One Tier 1 on F1 2019, round 10 of the season at the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. And joining me tonight will be Burnout. My name is Rapids, but Burnout's alongside me. How are you doing, Burnout? Not bad, mate, not bad. We should have a classic race at Silverstone. Should be an interesting one to see and see all these drivers, these very fast drivers, some of the best on this game, go head to head around one of the legendary tracks on the calendar. It's going to be fascinating, this one. Obviously, we follow the main calendar of the season. Obviously, Great Britain was actually the last race in the real life calendar, where on the following Tuesday we race at the actual race in real life. So we're here this weekend, this week for the British Grand Prix. So it should be interesting. We've had two races previously with Austria and France on this game. They were back-to-back, so this is the third race in a row on this game. And then we're having a 2-week break after this one for Germany. But we're just waiting for Sierra Rosberg to ready up to go into qualifying. But Ben, who are we looking out for in this tier, really? I mean, we've got a lot of fast people here. Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, let's talk about the drivers and the constructors. I mean, we're talking about teams, real life teams going head to head. Sir Rosberg has actually gone from the session, so we'll be trying to get him back in if possible. But let's talk about the Constructors Championship as it stands. WOR and LCR currently lead the way. The A team, CRG, Pinecone, and LCR Leopard are currently leading the Constructors Championship by 15 points. So in terms of the teams championship, it's looking pretty tight with them, as well as ILR Black. ILR Black, I've got Limitless and Oh My God, It's Joe. Oh My God, It's Joe isn't here, so Limitless is fending for himself almost here. So we could see WOR, LCR pull away a little bit in that constructors battle. And behind we've got VSR Red, we've got VSR Syra and VSR Infamous. So Infamous isn't here again. Turn out in terms of that sort of thing. So generally that's how things play out in the constructors and the drivers. Oh My God, Joe is leading the way. But obviously he isn't here. He has a 49 point advantage. So for him, it's looking pretty good. But he's not here tonight, so it means people behind him, like LCR Leopard, have a good chance of trying to force back some points in the Drivers' Championship. But what we are going to do is we're going to get on the circuit and let's see who is out there. So KJ Gamer is out there in the Alfa Romeo. He is out there he's one of the first people out there. Got Overkill's out there as well in the Toro Rosso. Syra's in the Haas. And Tyrrell Lemon is obviously in the McLaren. So we've got a few people out there. A lot of people on that soft tyre. So we'll probably see a lot of people do what we probably saw in 2018, where people just bank a lap on the soft compound. And the strategy tonight would be medium hard, I believe. So the one stop. But we could see different people do different things with the strategy. People might start on the hard tyre and go deeper into their first stint and go on the soft at the end. But the undercut on this game is pretty powerful. So I do expect majority of people on here to actually start on the soft and pit early and then go on the medium towards the end. Or actually, they start on the medium and then go on the hard towards the end of the race to stop any undercuts from happening, really. But LCR Leopards are there as well in the Ferrari. People are joining the fray on the circuit to begin their kind of first initial laps, get a feel for the circuit. Track isn't completely rubbered in at this point. We've got still a bit of time in the session to kind of get that track progression in. So definitely got a little bit of work to do in terms of track evolution. So we should see some alright times at the start, but we should see those times start to tumble down as we progress through the session. So let's go with KJ Gamer. He's on a flying lap right now. Let's go on board with him and let's see how he's getting on. He turns it through. Again, he's probably not completely pushing. You can tell he's kind of being very smooth. He's not really pushing it that hard. So this won't be a full-on fast lap from him, I don't believe, anyway. So expect him to probably turn it up later on. We've got out there we've got Overkilled on a fast lap. Let's see what he can do. He was pretty handy on last game. Let's see what he can do in that Toro Rosso. Again, looking like he's not really fully pushing, but we'll keep with the VSR driver. Again, you love lessons in 3, so it's interesting to see. But at the moment, again, people are just getting a feel. We've got 15 minutes to go in this session, so it's very early on. Hopefully we'll get a banker in very soon. He's going through the old turn 1 coming up to it, so... Again, he has to lift off massively through there, not having the grip right now, and that's something that is a big thing on this game where you can't go flat through some of the corners, but you would be able to on 2018. Through Magnus and Beckett's the legendary section of the circuit. He's a good exit through here, and he'll deliver that. But again, he's using the ERS, so he is actually on a fast up, I think, here. Now he's heading into in this last sector now, down in 5th. As Kitchen going to the top on 28.162. But again, I think we're expecting 27s here in this session. Let's see what Overkills can do as he heads into the last chicane. He's a good run through here. It's really important to get a good exit as Siren now does a 27.7. That's a pretty good banker. Let's see where this puts Overkills across the line. It's a 28.463. So that puts him into P4 for now. Elsa Leopard is out there in the Ferrari. Which watch out for him. He's currently up there in the Constructors Championship and he's 2nd in the Drivers Championship. He can take up some really good points here. Oh my god, it's Joe. Let's see what he can do through this medium speed right-hander in 5th gear. Hangs it in there. Doesn't run it too wide and pretty nice in terms of limits. Last chicane now needs a good exit for here. It's really vital for your lap. You don't want to be getting any oversteer. Turns it in nicely. Patience on the power. It's a good exit. Runs to the line. It's going to be a 27.734. Just slightly off VS Sara's tap time. So not too bad for a banker, but a little bit off. VS Sara has set the pace. And he's on the pad, so it's very good to see. Very tight times between the wheels and the pad users at this moment. Terra Limitless is currently in P4 on a 27.858. Let's have a look down the order. We've got Gorsh out there. We've got Sarah Rosberg out there as well. ERL Marvin in the Renault. He's out there for now. Part of ERL. But let's see what he can deliver. But everyone set their initial bankers. CRGA Zelchi is in the pit lane, and the same with Danny F31. They haven't set laps at the moment, so expect them to come out later on. But again, for now, it's people feeling the conditions. And actually, interestingly, ERL Marvin's actually on the medium compound, so he's setting his banker on those tyres, which is quite interesting to see. Maybe you'll have an extra spare set for the end. But normally, we'll probably see people start setting their bankers on the soft tyre. So now round the final chicane. Now let's see where this puts ERL Marvin out the last corner. Now let's see. It's a run to the line. It's going to be a 28.656. That puts him in P8 behind ERL Antsmaz, who is on the soft tyre. So a lot of people, again, mixing up a little bit in terms of what they set their tyres on. CRG Binecone's actually on another lap on his softs, but whether he's going to box it in this lap, I think he probably will. And the same with Leopard. I mean, yeah, he's in, and so would be Pinecone, or maybe not. Yes, he is going to pit it in. So that's their initial runs done, their initial bankers. Anybody else down there? You've got Gorsh Crab and Sarah Rosberg. Gorsh is on the hard. Sarah Rosberg is coming on. He's actually on a lap, so let's keep with Gorsh for now. In McLaren, he's through the left-right. He races for ILR alongside Tiro Limitless. He's filling in this weekend, and he slides it through Magnus and Beckett. It's like those hard tyres aren't treating him very well. And yeah, 1 minute 5.9 is not that quick for the 2 at all. So nothing going to be not really challenging up that top order. So we're probably not looking for a great time here on those hards. Now it goes through the last chicane now, so needs a good exit through here. Locks front left there. But again, coming through, it's not going to be challenging the top guys. Across the line, it's going to be a 1 minute 30.7, so not that quick. But Sarah Rosberg is on one, so let's... Oh, he's gone off, actually. So that's... Oh, where has he gone off? Maybe just lag. We'll just keep him ball with him. 1 minute 5.3 in the middle sector, so it's not looking too bad. It'll be somewhere thereabouts for him. So let's go through the medium speed right-hander down into 5th gear. Again, he's off. So I think he's not bothering with it. That's it. He's backed out of that lap. He's not actually on it. I did see him go off earlier, so I didn't really think he was actually on one. But again, now people are back on the circuit. VS Osira is out there again on a loud lap. So same with Terra Limitless, Kitchen Gamer, and Overkills, and Zelchi now. Zelchi has joined the fray, and so is Danny F31. So they're both going to be hitting on some laps and doing their first laps in session. But let's see what Sara can do with that Haas. He's looking pretty handy at the moment. He's top of the session, and I'm reasonably thinking he's going to be reasonably confident on this next lap. Let's see where Limitless is in terms of on circuit. He's through Magnets and Beckett's. KJ Gamer is coming up to 1, and Ants Maz is there too. So I think he might be quite good to ride with Tyrrell Limitless. He is on an outlap, so let's go on board with the McLaren driver. Races for Isla. So through the last chicane, need to really get a good exit through this one, set up your lap. So he comes through the last corner now, and on board we go. So here we go. Starts the lap, heading into turn 1. It should be flat out realistically. And it is flat in 7th gear. Nicely done through there. No DRS into entry of turn 1 anymore. And the brakes before the 15-minute wall, down it into 3rd gear. Turns it in. Needs a good exit here. Want to be patient on the power. Down into 2nd for the left part. A little bit wide on the apex, but again, not too bad on traction. Through the flat out left, and now down this sort of medium straight, really. Not that long. Down we go. And then we're going to brake at the... just before 15-minute wall, down it into 4th gear, turns it in nicely, doesn't cut at all, and now into the right. Needs to be very patient with power, down in 2nd gear, get the front nose turned in, and then needs a good exit, which he has got a very good run, and now through the old pit straight, and we head into Cop's corner. Be flat in 7th gear, hopefully, and it's actually not flat, it's actually a lift, as we've mentioned before. It's not flat on 2019 at all. Now through Magnus and Beckett's legendary section, left and then right, high speed, down into 6th gear for the second part of the left, and then down into 5th. And then needs a good run through here, don't want to run it too wide, which he hasn't done. Hits a DRS nicely and early, and now down this straight, using the ERS of the power unit from that Renault power unit in McLaren. And now through this medium speed right-hander, down into 5th gear, turns it in, right in the apex, not running it too wide, very nicely indeed on track limits. Now into the last chicane, down into 3rd gear, and keeps it in 3rd. Patience and patience and patience as he runs up the power through the last corner, and it's going to be a 1 minute 27.744, and it's not enough to get on provisional pole, so not enough from Tyrrell Limitless. It's so close out there. Well, at VSR Syra, he's pitting it in. He isn't continuing on, so he's bailed out that lap time. However, Overkills is on a lap. Who else down the order? What about Zelchi? How's he? He's actually back in the pit lane. Danny F31 is on a lap, so let's keep with him. He hasn't set a lap time as of yet in that racing point. Nearly called it a Force India there. Now through the last corner, let's see what it's going to be. It's going to be a 1 minute 28.1, puts him into P6, so not too bad. Not a bad banker for the racing point driver. But he'll be pitting it in and going all out for the last sort of 5 minutes of the session when the track starts to really gain some evolution. At the moment, it's all pretty quiet, but I think Leopard is actually on our lap time. So let's keep on board with the Ferrari driver. Leopard races for WOR and LCR, so they're currently leading the Constructors' Championship, and they can take some really big gains in that championship today. And he can take some big gains out of, oh my god, it's Joe, in the Drivers' Championship as well. So let's keep on board with the Ferrari driver. Let's see how well this lap treats him. He's a good exit through here. It's really important to be careful on the power, but he's using the gears nicely. And now through this, he got a bit of a toe coming up. I think that's an Alpha actually no, it's a racing point. Danny F31 gets in the way nicely. Through Cops lifts off, turns it in nicely, not running it too wide. Now here we go, Maggots and Beckett's fast section once again. Be careful, it's so easy to cut this section, it can ruin everything if you cut it. And it hits DRS once again. Now I'm wondering if he's going to bail out of it and come back into the pit lane and put on a set of mediums. I reckon he might not complete this lap time. It's been good so far. Now medium speed right-hander down into 5th gear, turns it in. Is he going to complete this lap? He's choosing to. Now through the last chicane, down into 3rd gear, 2nd gear rather, to get a bit more front end on. And now short shifting at the 4th to get better traction across the line. It's going to be a 1:27.527. That is provisional pole position. That's a good lap, and that is the time now to beat. He's laid his marker down. He's got 5 more minutes to go. He can pit in and put on a set of tyres if he wishes to. But that is the time for everyone to beat. Everyone is back into pit lane. Top Tom has put in a 27.8. He's going to pit it in surely. But everyone is returning to pit lane. Sierra Rosberg is out there at the moment. He is actually on a he's not on a fast one. No, he's not actually pushing it that hard. So everyone is back into pit lane. Unless Sierra Rosberg is actually going for it on this lap. No, he's not really. No, I think he'll be pitting in this lap. So everybody really is in there. All their runs now, and then obviously we'll have the last 5 minutes where everything begins to get a bit more frantic. The track gets busier, people start pushing harder, and mistakes can easily be made in this last part of the session, can't it, Ben? Exactly, yeah. I mean, the times, I mean, if you look at the top 7, I mean, we've got Leopard out there, 2 Tims in front. But we've got, obviously, Syra, Limitless, Top Tom, Pinecone, Overkills, and KJ Gamer, and to an extent, Cyril Rosberg as well, on very close lap time. So there's nothing separating him, as you said. So it's really anybody's pole position. Whoever can nail this last lap and get it absolutely perfect is going to be the one that probably takes pole position here. And all these guys are very capable of putting it on pole. It just all matters about is how you execute it. As Tyrrell Limitless is out there on a lap, so he's going to be our first guy to see how he gets on in terms of, you know, an absolute pole lap. So let's see. He's winding up now through the last corner. We've already been on board with him previously, but he's going to be our first representation of how things are going on circuit. So turn 1 now, 7th gear, flat out. And doesn't ride 2 on the exit. He's okay. He's really good. And then breaking down before the 15-minute board, down into 3rd gear. Turns it in. Patience on the power. And down into 2nd gear for left part. Needs to hit the apex. And he does hit the apex nicely. And gets a nice run out of that corner. So it sets you up for this sort of medium straight here. And down we go now. Heading into the next corner. Looking at a very good first sector than previously. Now down into 4th gear. Actually 3rd gear rather. And then he missed the apex there, so not ideal for Tyrannosaurus. He's a good exit here. And he gets a good run and a little bit of oversteer on the curb, but he's okay. And now flat out, and now here we're heading up to Cops. We have to do a small lift here. So Cops corner, little lift in 7th gear, turns it in. Oh, he's lost the rear end, and I think he rode the curb on the inside too much. And that's upset the balance of the car, but it will continue on anyway through Magnus and Beckett's. He really is pushing it as hard as he can. He's got to make up some lost ground there. And he's again lost the rear again on the curb on the inside. Not great, not ideal. He's actually down by a 10th in the middle sector. It's not ideal for the McLaren driver. And now, here we go. It needs to be good from him. And he boxes it in. He's bailed out of that. Does he have enough time to put on some fresh tyres? I doubt he does. I don't think he might have enough time. So, who else are we looking out for? Syra now is out there on an outlap. So is Overkills, KJ Gamer, and Danny F31. So KJ Gamer is winding up into our lap. So let's keep on board with the Sauber driver instead. Or the Alfa Romeo driver, should I say. Yeah, let's see what he can do. He's currently down in 7th place on 27.987. So he needs to find 0.4 of a second on this lap. And that isn't impossible with Track Evolution. It needs a good exit through here. It's really important to just be careful with the throttle in this game, because otherwise you just lose the rear end, and it's particularly sensitive on this game. And Leo's in sector 3 again, so someone's made a mistake on circuit. KJ Gamer again is up on his first sector, so looking very good so far. He'd be very smooth through here. It's all about being smooth and concentrating on those exits. He's lost the rear end there, so that's left his run out of that corner. So not ideal again. He's again twice in this lap, not too ideal. Now through Cops. And again, lifting up, and he's off the apex, so he's understood quite a lot. He's struggled for a lot of speed there, so not ideal. Now through Maggots and Beckett's. He needs to hit these right. And now into 4th, hugs the inside nicely, he needs a good exit. He's not too bad. It's a 3.7, so down in the 2nd sector, so not ideal. ER Almsmaz has retired from the session. That is him over and done with. He isn't continuing on. So KJ now through the medium speed right-hander in 5th gear. Needs a good exit here. He's got a little bit of oversteer, but he's okay. And now through the last chicane now. He's got a bit of traffic, of course, crab ahead. So hopefully that's okay for him. He should be fine. It's a bit of a distraction. Not ideal. He lost the rear end again. He's fighting the rear. And across the line is at 28.0. It is not an improvement in the end. And I'm sure there was more in there for the Alfa Romeo driver. But who else is out there? Syra is on a lap. He is coming through the flat right-hander now into Cop's corner. What can he do? Can he still... Can he take away the pole position that he was originally on here? He's now through Cops. And now through Maggots and Beckett's. It is imperative he gets this one absolutely correct. He's now through this section, this classic section. We love this section in real life. It's so fast in an F1 car. He needs a good exit through here, which he has got an alright exit. It's a 3.3. He is up by over 3/10 now of a second. It is looking very good to put it on pole position now. Now into the medium speed right-hander, 5th gear. Turns it in nicely. We'll keep on board with him for the last section. He needs to be absolutely pitch perfect. Now this is where everything can go wrong. Down into 2nd gear. Turns it in nicely. There's a good exit through here. Up the 4th gear, he short shifts it to get better traction out the last corner. Here he comes, it's a 27.2, and it is pole position for now. Can Leopard respond to that? Syra is on provisional pole as things stand. Limitless is staying P3 on his 27.7, but LCR Leopard, can he deliver anything extra? Has he got a bit more in that tank? Can he bring out another, 3 tenths? That's what he needs, 2 and a bit tenths per second to take away that top spot. Here he comes now, through Maggots and Beckett. So we're going to ride on board with the Ferrari driver. Left, right, and now left again, down into 6th gear, turns it in, now down into 5th. Rides the curb nicely, not too much oversteer. How is he in the middle sector? He's actually up, is he? He's down in the middle sector by half a tenth, so it's not ideal at the moment for the Ferrari driver. Now through the medium speed, right-handed down into 5th gear, turns it in, rides it on the inside, doesn't run too wide. He hasn't run too wide. Now through the last chicane, needs to put this one absolutely perfect now, turns it in nicely. Now the right part, careful on the throttle, he's careful, and here he comes, runs it to the line. What's it going to be? It's a 27.4, and it's not enough for pole position. VSR Syra is on pole for now. What can Cyril Rosberg do? He's out of the last sector now. Here comes the final chicane. He's the last man to set lap time. It's pressure on here. Can he get higher up on the grid order? Here he comes, last corner. It's a 28.0, I think, 27.8. I can see on this dash, 27.6. I don't know where he... Yeah, it's only P8 for Cyril Rosberg in the end. So, that is your qualifying session over and done with here. And Ben, would you like to run through the order? There. Interesting, yeah. Very interesting all there. Everyone's starting on that soft tyre. I thought originally the strategy was medium to hard, but I guess I'm incorrect. So, fair play. People might go on, I guess people will go on that hard tyre in the race to go, obviously, because I think you won't be able to go on... I mean, don't think people will do a two-stop. That's just risk, that's just too much. But obviously there is a thing with this game where you can... easily overheat your tyres and burn them up if you're not careful enough. So that is going to be a factor here on the soft tyres. They're very fragile, and if people do push too early on, it could be one interesting thing. Actually, I just noticed Eva Reynolds and Jolt94 are actually here. So that's interesting. They're not actually on the standings. Majority of the top 10 though, isn't it? Because everybody else in the top 10 have free tyre choice, so it's going to be interesting. I think we might see some different strategies being played out here, depending. But again, the undercut is so powerful that wouldn't even gain. But here we go. Are we actually going for 5 red lights here? And we are going, but we're waiting for players, and I don't know what's actually happening. And we are lights out, and away we go. So there we go. Everything's gone away, and who's got the better start here? Leopard or Syra? Syra has got the better start. He leads away through turn 1 and now turn 2. He is ahead of Leopard for now, so he's maintained position out of that first corner. That is absolutely vital in this first lap to get ahead. And right now, Ferrari in the background battling away. Pinecone, I think Top Tom and Tiro Limitless are all battling away there. Cyril Rosberg made up some ground. He's up to P6. So Syra leads the way from Leopard in second place and CRG Pinecone in third. So good stuff from the Ferrari boys there. But look at that, Syra is he's defending a little bit early from that Ferrari driver. So looking like it's interesting. Top Tom and Limitless, they're battling away, and Top Tom's trying to get a move done on Limitless. He's actually been overtaken by Limitless, as now look at that, Cyril Rosberg is trying to follow through on the McLaren driver. Here he goes. He's got on the inside of Top Tom. He's actually ahead of Top Tom. He's done it. He's into 5th place. So Cyril Rosberg follows Cyril Limitless through, and there we go. Makes up some big ass ground there. The 3 places up on the first lap, but so far it is who is in control. It's VSR Syra in control of this race, but not by much, as LCR Leopard is hunting him down like no tomorrow. And bear in mind, the DRS period is going to be very interesting indeed. DRS can be incredibly powerful, but on this game, there's a lot more management on the ERS, but look at this. Look at Leopard, he's right there in the slipstream of that Haas driver. He's using the ERS, is he? But he can't make the moves at this moment of time, so he's just paying the waiting game. That's all he has to do at this point. So let's deal with some data here. Who's it going to be? It's, oh, Leopard breaks really late into that last chicane, but he's okay for now. But he's looking pretty close up front as things stand. Looks like the top two are breaking away from Pinecone at this point. But Terra Limitless in 4th place. He's got Sir Rosberg for company behind him. But look at behind, everybody's battling away. Let's get up some more detail if I can. But Sir Rosberg is chasing and staying behind Limitless. And look at that behind. There's a move being done by, I think it's Gorge Crab or Marvin on the inside. And, you know, it's a great little battle between these two. And Sir Rosberg, and look at that, it's Gorge Crab got the better line on the inside. But the cutback will be done by Era Marvin. So let's see what Marvin can do. He's in the slipstream. He's in the toe. He goes to the right-hand side. Gorge Crab defends really nicely on the inside. And he keeps on the inside the better line here. And he keeps and gets into P8. It's a good move by Gorge Crab there. But going back up the order, it's Syra who leads currently from Leopard in 2nd place. Pinecone in 3rd. Limitless in 4th. And Rosberg in 5th. Ben, what did you make of that start? Indeed, yeah, and look at this. Syra and Leopard are still going at it right now. The gap is so close, and Syra hasn't been able to break away like he would love to have done, and it's very close up front. And actually, if anything, it's brought Pinecone into the mix, so that slipstream and that delay, maybe Leopard feels he's being held up in these early stages of this race. He's looking for any chance, any opportunity at this point, so he needs to hook this up. Now, lap 3, he has got the DRS now, so it is available to him. So he needs a good exit through here, and look at that. Syra got a pretty good exit there. It's actually over now within sort of half a second. So he's in the DRS. He'll be using that ERS down the straight, but he's just not close enough at this point, so he wouldn't be able to make a move at this point. So now it's like trying to set yourself up. You're just trying to do your best in order to get a better exit as possible. Ben, have you included your audio? Because apparently they can't hear you on stream.
There we are.
There we go. Thank you to Revolutions for saying that, and I do apologise to people in the stream that hasn't been mentioned. So thank you, Revolutions, who's been watching the stream, mentioning that Ben, you can't hear Ben, but now hopefully you can hear him. Fingers crossed, because he's now included his audio, which he's forgotten to do. So here comes Leopard now, once again in the slipstream of VSS Syra. He's towing it down this straight. And again, he's so close, but again, that's not close enough. It's too far back, and it's almost as if Syra is getting the better exits when he needs to. So again, it's looking. Oh, look how close Leopard got to the rear end of Syra there. This is going to be a long race battle between these two, I got a sense, and they're bringing Pinecone with them. Limitless hasn't closed in that top 3 as much as I would expect him to, but I'm sure he will if things continue the way things are going. I would expect that to happen as our top Tom gets a penalty. But Sir Rosberg is behind by a second behind Limitless. But let's go back with Leopard and Syra. This is our main battle. These two are going to war now. DRS now set to be activated now once again. Slipstream and DRS, and using the ERS now. He's closing and closing and closing. A little bit like on my screen, but again, he's just too far back. He can't make any opportunity of that, but he has got 83% of that ERS, so he is conserving it pretty well. And on this game, it is vital to conserve your ERS when it matters. So he isn't pushing it too much on the early points, but maybe he's just putting the pressure on Syra, trying to kind of push him into a mistake, if anything else. And he's just staying in that slipstream. That's what he's trying to do, and just make it a heated battle between these two. Now through Maggots and Beckett's now once again. Needs a good run through here. And it's showing how equal the pad and the wheel are, but look at that, look how close Leopard can get through Maggots and Beckett's. Needs a good exit through here, and you know what, it's not a bad run here, if you anything, it's a very good run, in the slipstream, and the DRS once again, he's in the so, we're running on board, let's see what he can do, on the inside, can he go to the inside, and he's gone, I can't see, he's just gone through him, if anything, he's just gone through him, so fair play, the move's been done, he's gone through him. I couldn't see the move if a move was made, but there you go. Leopard is into P1 for now ahead of Syra. So there's been a change of position for the race lead. So Syra has been demoted, and it's now Leopard in the lead of this race, and he'll try and pull away, if possible, from Syra, who's in second place. But look at that, Pinecone behind. He'll be looking to make a move, and if anything, that might destroy Syra's momentum here, because he looks a bit vulnerable to Pinecone, and Pinecone will try and set things up, but behind. Oh, look at this, on the inside, can he go? Oh, he's too far back. Pinecone is lining himself up here now. He needs a good exit, and he's not got the greatest of exits. Syra will have DRS on Leopard ahead. How's Limitless in comparison? Limitless is a bit far back. He's not in that DRS zone yet, and he's actually used quite a lot of his ERS, so he's not been able to close up on that. And same with Sarah Rosberg. Sarah Rosberg is with Top Tom. Hasn't been able to pull away from Top Tom, but I'm guessing that's probably because of that DRS and just basically sitting in the slipstream. I think that's what it is at the moment. So turning our heads back to this top 3. So Pinecone, can he make anything of this? It's going to be imperative that he does, because he's looking like he has got a bit more pace in hand. Pinecone, obviously, and Leopard are both teammates in WOR LCR A, so it's going to be interesting to see if they can get 43 points in this race, which would be huge. Limitless on his own in ILR, this would be big gains for WOR LCR if they can do that. Again, too far back for Pinecone. He's not close enough really on Syra, so nothing yet. Behind, let's go back to our battles behind. Actually, there's a battle going on with Anspaz and Overkills. Look at that, wheel to wheel with both of them. Overkills on the outside, and Anspaz actually got the move done, has he? He covers the inside line, and he's got that move done on the Toro Rosso driver. So fair play by Anspaz, which just caught the last part of that. But if anything, I don't think Overkills will be putting up with that. And look at that, DRS now going to be activated. Is it or is it not? No, turn 1 doesn't have the DRS, so he can sit behind him for now. Through turn 1 now, he's in that toe. He'll have a good chance trying to counter-attack him. If anything, he'll look to the inside, but no, he's too far back. He'll be trying to get a cutback, if possible, on the Racing Point driver. So let's see what he can do. He needs a cutback here, if possible. There he goes, and he's probably too far back. So let's run on board. DRS now activated using the ERS. He's closing and closing and closing and closing. It is closing quickly. It goes to the right hand side. Can he get this move done around the outside? No, he cannot. So he has to stick behind the Racing Point driver for now, as Marvin and Gorge are still having a little ding dong battle. So these two were battling on earlier on, and they're still battling now. Here comes it, Marvin on the inside. Can he go on the inside of the Corpse corner? Can he do this? He'll have to lift off. It's going to be close, but no, he's too far back, and it looks like the mediums are coming into their own because he's looking faster than Gorge Crab on those soft tyres. Let's go back to the lead battle though. Syra and Leopard again. It's looking pretty close between these two again. So Syra on the counter attack on the Ferrari driver as we go through the medium speed right hander. And Syra is looking, he fancies his chances. These three are really going for it in this race. But again, he's just too far back heading into that chicane. He'll just try and set himself up. And now it's important to just keep with him in that first sector and hook it and just basically just put him in as much pressure as possible. These three, again, Limitless isn't closing that gap to that top 3, is he, Ben?
No, not at all. It seems like they're getting away just a bit. Not by much, but the gap is opening up. But on the other hand, Sarah Rosberg is catching to JD just a little bit at a time. But Top Tom just behind Rosberg, really piling on the pressure. Won't be surprised if we saw a move very soon.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. And Top Tom, yeah, he's just stayed with Sarah Rosberg since the beginning, and he's not been. Sarah Rosberg hasn't been able to break away at all. So we'll see how that all goes down. Everything else, everyone else is pretty spaced out. We've got KJ Gamer, he's in 11th. He's 17, actually 18 seconds back from Era and Spaz, so quite a long way from the points. And I'm assuming maybe he's actually pitted. Let's look at the detail as this stop's been made. Yeah, so KJ Gamer, Reynolds, Danny F31 and Jork have all pitted. So that is very interesting indeed. Let's pop that back on. So let's see. Can Syra get a good exit on Leopard here? So he's in the slipstream. As now Top Tom gets another penalty. That's his second penalty of this race, I think. So not looking good in terms of track limits for him. But Syra once again closes up on that DRS. But again, he's just too far back. As now Overkills with a penalty for corner cutting and extending. So not ideal for these boys. They won't be doing. He can't be doing that because that will cost you big time positions. But if anything, it's got a little bit cloudy out here, hasn't it, Ben?
Yeah, quite a bit actually. I don't think it'll rain. Don't look like it's gonna, but you never know. Could have a surprise rain at the end.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, it is kind of cloudy in parts, so that might just be a thing with the track where cloudy in parts and sunny in others, so that might just be a thing. But Syra again looking to get a move done on Leopard, but it's not good. He's too far back here. He's not going to be able to make a move. We'll keep with this for a few more laps, but this actually is tantalizingly interesting between these two, because just these three have broken away from Limitless. Limitless is just chipping away on that gap, and Limitless is almost potentially, and actually now Danny's got a disqualification from going the wrong way. That is interesting to see what's happened there. Didn't catch up on stream, so that'll be interesting. That might just be a little bit where he span maybe, and he's trying to get the car under control. As now Sarah Rosberg gets a facing time penalty, so he's yet another victim of the track limits around Silverstone. But once again, Syra looking to close in on Leopard now. He needs a good exit through here, which he has got a good exit, but he's just too far back. Again, it's 6/10 of a second to be the close up in that DRS. Use a little bit of that ERS, but again, too far back. Leopard, how's he doing on his ERS? It's 29%, so he's using a lot to actually defend. He's probably using the overtake. Actually, now he pits in. Both himself, Syra, and does Limitless box it? No, he continues on for another lap, so we know how powerful this undercut can be. But Pinecone continues on. He won't double stack with his teammate, because that will lose you time. Pinecone continues on, and is now our race leader for probably another lap. But again, undercut can be very powerful in this game, so we'll see how this works out for Syra and Leopard. Actually, I think Syra might have just jumped Leopard in the stops, or has he? No, he hasn't. So Leopard is in front, because there's a brief switch between the two of them. But Leopard will be out on that medium tyre, and it's going to be really vital to get those tyres in the right window as quickly as possible. So that benefit of the undercut does help, and that's what he needs to be doing here. So Pinecone, and it looks like they're actually doing the one stop with the medium. So again, I was wrong on strategy. I also don't know anything about this game so far, so I'm learning too. But yeah, Pinecone out there again, kind of Limitless is staying within a second of him, so it's roughly the same gap as it's been for a couple of laps now. So again, Limitless is just staying there. He probably will be getting a little bit of a tow from the Ferrari driver, but not much. But he'll be trying his best to try and just take it. And you know what? He is closing up. He might have a chance of DRS here. And you know what? He has got DRS available to him. But again, look at that ERS deployment. He's used a lot of that ERS charge, which is not ideal. And again, Pinecone's in the same thing. But yeah, he's just too far back here. He's not in that tow. But will these two pit in this lap? That's the question. And they don't. Pinecone stays out for another lap, but Limitless does as well. But Sarah Rosberg comes in as well. So Limitless and Pinecone going a little bit longer on these soft tyres, looking like they've managed them a little bit better, and they're looking to have the fresher softs for the end of the race. Well, the fresher mediums for the end of the race, rather. So that is going to be interesting to see how that all goes. They're losing out initially, but when things get hot towards the end, they might be in a very interesting position, and actually a very beneficial position if things will go well for them. So it's all about managing this for now and just trying to keep consistent on these tyres and not make a mistake, because they still could be within a shot towards the end if things will work out for them. So it's interesting to see how the different strategies are going by. People on those mediums actually looks like Rosberg is coming up behind Syra. Where does KT Gamer come out in comparison? Rosberg is he behind Kitchen Gamer? Actually, he is. So Kitchen Gamer has made a big gain on those mediums. He's been on those mediums for 3 laps now. So the undercut has really worked on those medium tyres. That's giving us a good idea to see how that's all going to work out towards the end of the race. But that's not what obviously Rosberg took. He'll have to make another overtake on Kitchen Gamer, which is probably something that he doesn't really want to be doing if he wants to battle for that podium positions. But turning our heads back to Pinecone and Limitless, these two, the gap has closed down to 7/10. So these two, looks like Limitless actually is pushing on pretty hard now. Again, just too far back. He isn't close enough to make a move on the Ferrari driver as of yet. So Pinecone boxes it in, so he comes in to the pit lane, and does Limitless follow him through? Yes, he does. And so does Top Tom. So both those three are into the pit lane. Gorge Crab is staying out on the softs. But these 3 are the last people on those soft tyres who are battling for the lead. So they're in, and we'll see how they come out in comparison. So there goes Pinecone in. As now Marvin takes the lead on his medium, so he's going on a different strategy. He's going a lot longer, so he won't be pitting until a lot later. The Limitless comes up behind Pinecone. We expected how Leopard going on and Syra. And so Rosberg importantly as well. So Leopard through turn 1. Is he ahead? He is ahead. And is Syra ahead as well? They should be just about. What about Limitless Pinecone? Yeah, he's ahead of Limitless. Just about as Limitless gets out in front of Kijigama. But they're going to battle away. Kijigama around the outside of Limitless. He's got the more warmer tyres on the inside of Limitless. And Limitless is going to lose out here. Is he? Yes, he is. And the Alfa Romeo driver has absolutely done Limitless there. Now, Limitless on the counter-attack. He'll be trying to get past him. But remember, the Alfa Romeo will have the DRS. And Limitless is not able to do anything at all. He's going to stick behind the Alfa Romeo once his tyres are trying to get up the grip, and that is a big loss. He doesn't want to be sitting behind him, as now Limitless tries to find the inside line but can't do, and now KJ Gamer is going to defend his life as much as he can against Limitless, and that is going to be incredibly frustrating for both Limitless and, if anything, Sir Rosberg, who really want to be in front of this. There we go. This is going to really hold up Limitless, I think. Through Maggers and Beckets, no moves are going to be made through here, can they? Not at all. He won't be able to pull it off. He'll be trying to focus on getting a better exit here, if possible. She does get an alright exit, so now DRS activated. This should be an easy move, realistically. Here he comes, DRS activated to the right-hand side, and that should be a done deal. Yes, yes, and it is. There you go. Limitless into 6th place, regains position, but loses time whilst doing it. Sir Rosberg, on the other hand, has got top Tom to deal with. And look at them. These two are going to go wheel to wheel, are they? Let's go on board with them. And I think Top Tom's on the inside. Look at that inside line. It's going to be wheel to wheel through the last corner, as Rosberg just about stays out in front of the Williams driver, just about, and that was so close. He didn't want to lose positions more, but he really needs to make inroads on KJ Gamer if he wants to battle Terra Limitless in this race. But there we go, that is that done. We'll keep on board with these battles because KJ Gamer isn't letting Limitless get away from him. He is within DRS activation once again, so you never know. He's probably too far back to make a move anyway, so that should be okay. Limitless can breathe now and just get on with this race and just try and pursue Pinecone. But all in all that, the undercut has really worked for Pinecone, Syra and Leopard, because there's a good 2.7 second gap. And I know that Limitless got held up by KJ Gamer, but that gap was still roughly that sort of gap anyway. So that undercut has really been powerful. So Limitless has got everything to do now. Need to get, and it's not ideal for him really. He needs to make some inroads, but he has got fresher tyres, bear in mind. So towards the end of the race, expect him to come into his own a little bit. So it's not over yet for Limitless. There's still a long way to go. 14 more laps to go in this race. But he needs to be getting on with it. But Sir Rosberg, how's he getting on? He is in the DRS, but so is KJ's Gamer on Limitless. So this is not ideal. Can Rosberg get past him? No, he can't. He's just too far back for now. He's going to sit there for a bit longer, and he's just hoping that... Oh, he loses the rear end, Sir Rosberg. And again, he's under pressure from Top Tom. But no, that's ruined Rosberg's momentum there. It's not ideal at all. Looking like Aaron Marv is in the alternate strategy. He's starting on the medium and going soft for the end, so he's going really long into this. So expect him to pit roughly lap 16, I'd say, on those mediums. He's probably got 3 more laps to go on them. But again, Rosberg needs to deliver this. He's a good exit here. Has he got the good exit he needs? He's within half a second. So he's got the outside shot here. He's now got another 15 time penalty. He's closing once again. Here he goes. Does he go for it? No, he doesn't. He's just too far back once again. He's catching him at the wrong period of the straight. So again, not ideal. Syra and Leopard are within half a second of each other. So those two are battling away too. But again, Rosberg will be getting a little bit frustrated, just trying to find a way past the Alfa Romeo driver. Again, not close enough to the cops, so again, we're just trying to get a good exit through the Maggots and Beckett's, but meanwhile, Limitless has been able to break away from this battle, which is not what Rosberg wants to see. Through Maggots and Beckett's now once again, Rosberg trying to hook up a good exit through here, which is what he needs to do. He needs a good run. Has he got a good run? He's within, again, half a second. But Top Tom is right there for company on Rosberg, and it's not ideal. So here he comes, Rosberg on Gamer. Here he goes. Can he go around the outside? No, he can't. He'll try and cut back though. He'll try to hook it up on the exit if he can. He's right on the gearbox of the Alfa Romeo. He goes to the right hand side. Does he? He's going to try and break as late as he can. Round the outside on the inside for the second part. And you know what? I think he's got that move done. He's on the inside for the last corner. It's wheel to wheel. And he's got that move done. A brilliant move by Sir Rosberg. He gets ahead of KJ Gamer just about. With a brilliant move. But KJ Gamer, can he attack back on him? Here he goes. Now, can he go on the inside? No, he can't. He's just too far back for now. Top Tom stays behind KJ Gamer, but great moves. And look at that. Top Tom goes on the inside of the KJ Gamer. They will bang a little bit, but Top Tom couldn't let that move stick. But better exit for Top Tom now. Here he goes in the slipstream. And is he going to be able to make that move stick? Yes or no? No. He's in, because Kijigame is DRS on Rosberg. That hasn't happened at all. So that is absolutely fascinating battle there. A good battling between Rosberg and Kijigame, and a great move being pulled off by Rosberg. But that's cost him a lot of lap time. But let's go back to our main battle. Leopard and Syra. They're within half a second of each other once again. These two can't leave each other alone for the battle of this race win. So through Maggers and Beckett's, can Syra take back the race lead that he once had? But again, looking like he's lost a little bit of time for Maggers and Beckett's, and he's not within, he's in within DRS, but he's not got the best of exits. So Leopard's been able to pull that back and not be attacked by the DRS in the end. So again, Leopard still leads Syra as things stand, but this is cooking up a little bit of a salty battle between these two. But let's go back to Top Tom and Kijigame. These two are battling away once again. Top Tom goes to the right hand side, but KJ breaks a lot later. He's gone very deep. Top Tom will try and cut back on the Alfa Romeo driver on the inside. You know what? Great exit there, and he's got ahead just about. Like, look at that. Kijigame won't give it up, but Top Tom has gotten his nose ahead, a car length ahead, and there he goes into the lead, into ahead of Kijigame at Silverstone. So great move there by Top Tom, and Kijigame has lost a couple of positions in the last lap, which is not ideal. But Top Tom will now try and pursue Sir Rosberg. He's only a second up the road, so. And those two have been battling all race long as well. Rosberg hasn't been able to get away from Top Tom at all in this race. And Leopard and Pinecone looking like there's something happened there. Or something has happened. Actually, Syra's got in front of Leopard, so I didn't see that happen. So that's happened, and I do apologise. That has actually happened without us noticing. So Syra's now in front of Leopard, and there must have been a mistake there. I can't believe that's actually happened. So now, Leopard's on the attack on Syra, and Syra will be absolutely smiling. Now, Syra gets a penalty, though. So, that's turned things on its head there, because now, Syra has to break away from 3 seconds away from Leopard, because he isn't going to keep hold of P1 at this rate. But look at that, Leopard once again in the slipstream, goes to the right-hand side, trying to put Syra off. But, yeah, he's been overtaken by Syra, and that is interesting scenes here. And that makes Leopard's life a lot harder. These two have been switching the lead, twice now in this race. So, again, these two continue to battle on. Another 10 more laps to go. Lap 16 and 26. So there's still a lot more to play for now. As now Pinecone is in third place, a little bit far back from this battle. So, again, nothing to play for. But let's look at sort of consumption of ERS. Looking like Syra's got a little bit extra in the tank than Leopard. So Leopard might just sit behind Syra for now, save his ERS, use a slipstream in the toe to try and propel him against Syra, and just try and conserve a little bit, and then go on attack once again. So this is going to be intense, I think. These last 10 laps, this battle is going to continue on. And Ben, who are your bets on?
Well, it's a close battle. I mean, the one problem, Syra getting penalty. But Pinecone, he's looking quite on it. Hopefully he comes back. It's not quite over, obviously only 2.4 seconds, but Leopard and Syra are really close right now, and I think Leopard's not too far off getting a penalty himself. I'm pretty sure he's only got 2 warnings, so he's only 1 warning off. But still lots to play for. There's also battles around the track. Obviously, you've got a battle for P5 right now between TomTom and Rosberg, but TomTom has more penalties, so that's not really much going on. But apart from that, not a lot going on. I mean, Limitless is breaking the gap a little bit to Pinecone. He's only 1.9 off, so with 10 laps, he could still get the podium. We're going to have to keep watching that as the race develops.
Indeed, yes. I mean, this is our main battle. These two are still going for it at the moment. So, yeah, this is going to be intense now. So, Leopard now needs a good exit. Marvin is fast off the race on a 30.695 on those soft tyres. And bear in mind, he did the alternate strategy. He started on the medium, went a lot deeper into the race. And now he's got a very quick race car in him towards the end. So watch out for him to make up some ground, potentially on KJ Gamer, and get in that group. You never know. That might actually all work out. But once again, Leopard is trying to get on Syra here, but again, he's just too far back for now. But let's go back to Rosberg and Top Tom. These two, again, are ones to watch. These two are battling away. So here comes Top Tom in the slipstream, who head up through the old pit straight. He's too far back, so he'll be trying to make a move probably out of Magnus Beckett's, but he needs to get that hooked up, really, if he wants to make any sort of move on Sir Rosberg. He heads through Magnus Beckett's once again, so through the left and now the right section. He needs to focus on getting a good exit for the last part. If he does that, he got a good shot, as now overkicks with another penalty. So here comes Top Tom now in the slipstream of Sir Rosberg, on board with him. Here comes slipstream, DRS, ERS as well. Here he comes to the left side, goes actually darts to the right hand side and goes onto the grass, and that is a move dart on Sir Rosberg. Rosberg is defenseless, but again, he's just running really wide there. But Top Tom has got more penalties, but he'll have to try and break away from Rosberg in order to stay in front of him on penalties in the end. So that's a move done by Top Tom, but I've got a sense that that battle isn't actually over as of yet. Let's keep on board with these two, because I think this still might go on as Rosberg goes for turn 1 and turn 2, and we're trying to get a good exit if he can and try and attack back. But again, he's probably just too far back to make any sort of move, and it's not worth him risking it. Again, everybody's all sort of in their own race, really, apart from Sarah Leopard, Rosberg and Top Tom. They're really the only ones that... I'm supposed to close with Ivrea Reynolds. Yeah, you can see that Rosberg is just too far back on Top Tom. So let's go back to our lead battle now. Sarah and Leopard. These two are still battling away. They're so close in proximity. Meanwhile, the gap between Pinecone and Limitless is stabilised. It's 2 seconds. So not many gains at all. As I've got Jess in the chat saying, come on Sarah. So Jess is obviously part of VSR, so she's cheering on her main guy in the team. So she's hoping that he can win ahead of Leopard. But Sarah, bear in mind, does have penalties. Bear in mind, Leopard does not have any penalties. So as things stand at this moment, Leopard will win this race on penalties. We've got 8 more laps to go after this lap. Once we complete this one, we've got 7 more laps to go. Once again, Leopard, maybe, does he know that there's a penalty in front? You can ask your engineer certain things, whether he tells you about penalties. That's another matter, and it might be that he knows about it. Hence why he's not really mounting an attack, but at the same time, you can see the ERS deployment. He's down 19%, and it's not... I think more of it is him conserving the ERS, just staying within Cyro's slipstream. He's got the ERS once again, but he can't use the overtake because he's just going to drain the battery and have no ERS for the rest of the lap. So he's just got to be careful with just conserving it, really. And that's what we can do. He does close up in the DRS, bear in mind. So he's just sticking with him, and look at that. He needs to go try and get a good exit here. Oh, Sarah and Rosberg, Callum Diesel cheering on Sarah and Rosberg, yep. Leopard for PT. A lot of favourites here in URC, but once again, it is close between Leopard and Sarah. 6/10 for Magnus and Beckett. And if anything, I mean, I prefer winning races on track. They're one of them penalties, but you know, a win's a win in the end of the day. And at the moment, Leopard's not taking any risks. He's just sticking behind Via Sarah. We'll have DRS once again, but he's just too far back. I don't think he's been making any sort of move. Look at that ERS, 6%. He's so low on it down there, so it would just be, he'd be limited. He'd be absolutely limited down that straight, not able to do anything. But again, too far back to make any sort of move, and just piling on the pressure is now limitless because of 3-second time penalties. That's ruined chances in terms of a podium for him, because Pinecone, yeah, he's in 3rd, but I don't believe Pinecone's got any penalties. So even if Limitless does get a move done on Pinecone, and bear in mind, Pinecone and Limitless have both got the same amount of age on tyres, not gonna make a difference. Once again, Leopard now trying his ultimate best, trying to get past Syra here. But again, that ERS usage is so low that it's not worth it. He's just sitting there in the DRS and just sitting behind him and not going to make a move. At this rate, there's no point. I think both of these two have had equal pace all race. They've been battling all the way. And you've seen this all race, and there's no point. If you've got equal pace, there's no point pushing it any harder. But that's when it becomes a problem, because if you start not pushing, you can make more mistakes. You can actually cut more and cut easier if you just become a bit more complacent. So if anything, Leopard wants to keep the momentum and just keep pushing on. But now if Maggis and Beckett once again, and the gap is closer than it was this time around. So now, this is an opportunity if he wants it. If he wants to get the move done, this is a chance. Even half a second once again, but it's dropped over half a second if anything. So he's too far back, I think. It's not close enough to remove on Syra. And too far back once again, and hasn't been able to make that move stick. So now through the left and now the right, looking to try and get exit in, and he's not close enough really, is Leopard. Again, like, ERS has gone up to sort of 24%, but it'll drain as we go through the fast right hand of turn 1. It'll just continue to drain as we head down here, but it'll be sticking that toe as much as possible. 5 more to go in this race, and it's still to play for the race to win, if anything. But again, it's all about track position. On penalties, it's a done deal for Leopard. But again, DRS once again activated. Again, too far back for now, and just can't get this done at all at the moment. Leopard sticks behind for now, and he'll just try and just again pull him under pressure. Maybe that's what he's trying. Maybe that's what he's trying to do. Just put him in the more pressure, hope for another penalty, maybe. And that's what he probably needs to wait for. Maybe that's what he's waiting for, taking no risks at this point. And at the moment, why would you take risks? I mean, as things stand, WOR, LCR, Leopard and Pinecone in second and third, both in the same team, are taking out big points on ILR Black, and will continue bringing out that advantage. They're going to be in a really big advantage after this race, as ILR are only running one driver in ILR Black, because Joe's not here, and then done the F31 as of the session. So yeah, and a big gains for Syra as well. He's 49 points back, and he'll gain, at the moment he'll be on penalties, he'll only gain 18 points than Joe, which is not ideal. I do feel the Drivers' Championship means a little bit more to these drivers than the constructors. Yes, this is actually a team's championship, but it's always good as a driver to win a championship, and no matter what it is. So I'm sure that is still at stake as well. Again, Leopard sticking within a second. That's all he has to do really. Just sit within a second, keep in that slipstream of the DRS zone, and does that, it's done deal really for him. Rosberg and Top Tom are still battling away between those two. It's 6/10 between those. Rosberg again doesn't need to take any risks. Top Tom's got more penalties, so Rosberg will probably finish P5 as long as he doesn't get any more penalties. Yeah, everybody's in their own sort of rhythm really. No one's really, no one's really going for it, and everyone's sort of just controlling the race. Everybody knows where they stand in the race, know what. Really, at this point, they'll know what their end result probably will be. Leopard may not. His way is to stick him behind Syra, but maybe he does. He's not really mounting an attack on him. He just stayed there. So it's not like as if he's really pushing the boat out or trying to get past him. Limitless is looking quite close to Pinecone. The gap's down to 1.6. But again, Limitless does have a penalty. Ben, could you just check that Pinecone doesn't have any penalties, please?
I will indeed. Yeah, Pinecone has none.
Fair play. And you got any warnings?
No.
Alright, fair play. So it's looking pretty in hand for Pinecone here. As now Ansmaz has gone from the session, so he's called it a day. George Crab looking to get a point. He's in 10th. He's got a 13 second gap to EVR Reynolds. So he's looking good on for a point for ILR. So ILR will gain, they'll get 13 points, which is not a lot in total. Again, Leopard still behind Syra and just hounding him, not letting him breathe. That's what he's doing. Not letting him breathe and just try to crack him. That's what he's trying to do. Once again, Leopard needs a good exit now down this old pit straight as we head into Cop's corner. He's sticking with him, and again get that ERS. Just to compare the ERSs, actually if anything, Syra's down on the ERS compared to, but both actually on equal ground with ERS deployment. So that tells me Syra is not feeling confident staying in front of Leopard. He's having to use that overtake button a lot more when in DRS. So Leopard has still got a chance if he wants to make this move on circuit. It's possible. He can do this. So, Leopard once again closes up in the DRS, but again, too far back. It'll pop it down to sort of no ERS deployment through these corners. Try and get a better exit and to conserve the ERS battery. So they can deploy a little bit more out of the DRS. So again, sticking with Syra now. We're heading into lap 24, 26 now. Across the line for lap 24. And look at that gap. It's close. Half a second the gap now. As we head through turn 1 now. Flat out. And look at that, the gap is now 3/10, closing now, as we're now heading into these tight right left. Look how close they are. Leopard is really closed up, he's really close to the Haas driver now. so he needs a good exit here once again. But you know what? He hasn't got the greatest of exits. He's again down a half second, so he needs to focus on getting a better exit. But he's now got DRS. He's slipstreaming him down the straight, but again, he's too far back for now. Breaks the 50-meter board down into 4th gear, and he's pressurizing Syra. Syra looking like he's maybe struggling. Now Slipper will try and cut back on this corner to get the better run, which he doesn't really do, doesn't get the better exit at all. The gap is out to sort of under half a second, so now through old turn 1 once again. He needs a good run through here. He turns it in nicely. He's got a good run. He's really in the toe here. He's feasting all that slipstream now through the Maggots and Beckett section. The gap is out to 4/10, so it is opened up once again. But Leopard needs a good exit through here, which he'll try and do. And you know what? He's got an alright run. He hits the grass though instead. But he is closer than he was 1 lap ago. But he is really close now. He's deploying all the way down the straight. Has he got enough? Has he got enough? No, he's not got enough. He has stayed behind him once again. But he'll try and get a good exit here. But he's too far back to make a move into the last chicane. So, no, not as of yet. Leopard trying his best. That was an attempt to try and get past Syra. Syra is still considering that ARS deployment. But Leopard not taking any risk, but once again he'll be in that slipstream now in the first sector. He'll be heaving up and closing and closing and closing as we head through here. So he's closing up. He needs again, this is the part of the sector where Syra looks to be having that little bit extra, getting the better exit when he needs to try and break away. He's going to try and cut back here on the Haas driver now. Has he got a good exit? You know what, he hasn't. He's back down to 8/10, so he's too far back with lap 25-26, so it has to be an all guns blazing last lap from Leopard, and he hasn't got enough ERS really to do that. So I think it'll finish where it is, but it'll be Leopard who takes home the victory. So again, it's close. It's in again. It's 7/10 now as we head through, but again, Leopard will get that toe. Will be in that slipstream all the way now through the fast Cops corner. It has to lift up a little bit in the slipstream, but it'll be towing him all the way and hounding him. But again, the gap is out. The gap is opening up, and if anything, Tyler's got that little bit extra ERS to use down that straight, and Leopard hasn't got that deployment. He can't use that, so it's looking like things are going to stay as they are. And no risk going to be taken. Leopard once again in the slipstream and DRS, but yeah, he's too far back. Nothing as of yet. So I don't think he's going to make a last lap move here. Reynolds is fast up the race. He gets the DHL. They call it nowadays. Oh, as Leopard loses the rear, and that definitely is a sign to back off potentially. The gap is now over a second, so I think that will be Leopard's last kind of straw there. He's probably over pushed it there and made a slight error. So if anything, stay where you are. But Limitless and Pinecone, that's the one to watch because they're close together as well. And it's under a second, but again, Limitless has got the penalties and Pinecone hasn't got those penalties. Let's see how things go here. He's a good exit, does Limitless, and he's close. And Limitless is one of those drivers that will push all the way to the end, but deployment-wise, I mean, actually, he's a little bit better on deployment than Pinecone. So, yeah, it's close there. But the gap between Syra and Leopard over a second now, so no DRS probably for Syra now. For Leopard rather, on Syra. The gap's now 1.2, and I do sense that Leopard has called it a day. No more mistakes by him. For Syra now, he is looking to close this one out and hope he'll win it across the line. He'll win the race win, but it'll be on penalties. It'll be Leopard who wins this race now from Maggots and Beckett section for the last time in this race. It's been a absolutely incredible race, tantalisingly close between Leopard and Syra throughout, and these two swap positions all race long. So this is fantastic. This has been a great battle between these two. Mentally, they've been putting each other under so much pressure for the whole race. But Syra does come out on top on the circuit. But here he comes now, out of the last chicane now. And it's a win for Syra, but on penalties, it will be LCR Leopard who wins here in Britain. So across the line, Leopard wins in Britain. And Pinecone crosses the line in P3 ahead of Limitless. And Limitless doesn't get on penalties. Top Tom now will beat Rosberg to the line, or does he on penalties? Yes, he does. Rosberg got that last penalty on the last lap, and that was the error he made, because that was the difference in the end. KJ Gamer in 7th place comes across the line, comes at home, and not a bad result by him. Marvin wasn't able to utilise those soft tyres in the end, and Rosberg has left. He's pretty disappointed. Gorge Crab, here he comes, gonna finish in 10th place, and you know what? Points finish for him. He said that maybe it would be possible, and he has delivered it. He's to come home for the final point split position for ILR, and points do mean prizes in these days, and he gets a final point across the board. So good stuff by Gorge Crab. Jork 9-4, not ideal for him, not greatest of races, but unlucky probably in this one. He comes across the final corner now to complete it and bring it home, which is always good to see. It's always good to sort of gain that mileage on this game. It's a new game still to everybody. They're still learning it, and if you can just complete the race, still you've gained something there. Ravia Reynolds now through the last cane, out of the final corners now, and he'll bring it home for P12. And that has been your British Grand Prix for URC Tier 1.
Oh, wow, what a race that was. That was fantastic. Really good battle between top two.
Yes. You want to take us through the order?
I will indeed. Do
you want to do podium interviews?
I'll be mean and let you do them because, I'm mean.
Oh, lovely.
Right, so LCR Leopard takes the win here at the British Grand Prix with VSR Syrah behind him in second place. CRG Pinecone takes the final podium position in third. Then it's Tira Limitless in fourth. Top Tom in fifth. Sierra Rosberg in sixth. KJ Gamer in seventh. VSR Overkills in eighth. ERL Marvin in ninth. Gorge Crab in 10th. Jork 94 in 11th. EVR Reynolds in 12th. ERL Antsmaz in 13th, and CRGA Zelchi in 14th, with Danny FA1 in 15th to round off the grid.
Fantastic. We'll do the podium interviews as well, we'll get those done. Welcome, boys. Question is, does Leopard actually have a mic? Question. It does. Okay. Siri joins. Might have notifications off, maybe. I'm not sure. Doubt it. Oh, there we go. Cool. If you can include your audios, boys, and I'll get these done. All right. Elster Leopard. You just won the British Grand Prix. How did that race go for you, mate? Good battle with VSR Syra all race long. That was exciting to watch. How was that on your end?
I don't feel like I should have won that. I mean, I think today was a prime example of just sitting in someone's TRS and just letting them drag you along. I don't know what happened on the grid. I got a completely different SERP for the race to what I was using for quali and what I was using in practice.
Lovely.
Something completely different. I think Pinecone had the same thing.
Right.
So yeah, that was interesting. Had to adapt in the first stint. Felt like there was a lot less feedback through the corners through my wheel. So yeah, an interesting race. Got the win just by keeping it on the black stuff on the track and avoided any penalties. So yeah, good for the championship as well, both drivers and constructors. Yeah, good result.
Indeed, yeah, mate. And did you know anything about sort of Syra's penalties? Is that why you just stuck in his slipstream, or were you still going for it towards the end of the race for the race run on circuit?
I think I checked. I asked Jeff if he had any penalties, and eventually he came back with he's got a 3-second penalty.
Fair.
So I didn't know about it. I don't know how long he had the penalty for. He might have just picked it up because I asked him because he ran wide out. Sarah ran wide out of cops. I thought, okay, I'll ask him, and He had a 3-second penalty. So I was just planning to try and event in the initially was just trying to stay in his DRS because I can't just let him go fairly easily. Just trying to save my ERS, but he was so quick. I couldn't save any ERS at all. That he was just so quick. So yeah, I think pace will need work, but trying not to be. Even though I've just won, I'm trying not to be too hard on myself because I had a completely different setup. So not a lot I could have done, but yeah, Sarah was rapid. So
Yeah,
was,
I noticed that in the race. Yeah, you two were using a lot of the ERS. Obviously, he was using it to defend. I assume, and obviously, you were using it to try and keep up with him.
yeah.
Yeah, that's obviously fascinating to manage that. Obviously, on this game, it is a lot harder on ERS from what we can, obviously from what I've seen as well. You have to manage it a lot more, and is that something that you're also trying to get on top of as well as the game progresses, and how as you get more used to the game? Is that something that you're trying to work on too?
You try and learn anything you can, any little detail you can pick up on, you pick up on it and you try and learn from it. So yeah, well, that ERS is something to improve upon, as are many other things. So yeah, looking forward to it, but a lot of work still needs to be done. So progress is needed, big time.
Indeed, mate. And obviously, as you mentioned, the good points for obviously WR and LCI. I mean, you extend the championship lead over ILR Black because Joe didn't race today. So, again, good points for you guys. And as you head into Germany, which is in 2 weeks' time. So, great job, mate.
Yeah, my home Grand
continue
Prix.
on as
Should be fun.
Hey, woohoo.
Just
Nice,
try to
mate.
stack it like
again.
Veld in the wall. That'll be ideal.
Oh, don't do that. Good. Well done, mate. I'll move on to VSR Syra. Syra, mate, P2. A little bit unlucky with the penalty in the end, but you led that race. You were dicing with Leopard all race long. How did that go for you on your end? How do you feel about that race?
Well, first of all, it's good to be back. So the first rounds on this new game, I just missed one because of the Xbox glitch when I wasn't receiving any invites, so I just received an invite with the start and I didn't want to play with the default setup. And they were on France, I wasn't at home, so yeah, I couldn't race. But yeah, I didn't put much practice at all. I think I did 3 qualies in one whole race just to discover the strategy. And I actually like it. I think it was one of the most funniest league races I've just ever done in the past few weeks. And essentially after the end of the F1 2018, so I'm pretty happy with it. I just got the penalty in the end of lap 15, the Maggots and Beckett, so yeah, when I just saw that 3-second time penalty, I just saw, GG, I'm just gonna try to keep the consistency just to open the 3-second gap to Pinecone, which was in the 2.5 and 2.8 gap, and it was hard to open that gap, so I just wasted a little of VRS to improve a little of the pace and make some laps in the house of 30s. But yeah, I just like it. I wasn't expecting to be in the front. I was expecting to be P3 or just P4, but I think my pace was quite good, and I was just surprised with that. And yeah, I'm happy with the result, besides the penalty.
Yeah, you have some awesome pace, my bro. And how is the patch feeling on this game? You know, in terms of is it more equal towards 2018, or is it more equal than 2018, or you know, is it still obviously work in progress for you on the pad? You know, you've got some really good speed there. So how are you finding things on 2019?
I think 2019 is more equal between pad and wheel. I felt the pad quicker compared to last game. I don't know how it's going to feel in the next weeks, because we're going to receive a patch of the performance change, so the cars are going to improve your pace by 1 and 1.5 seconds per lap, so I need to see how it's going to work, but in the moment the patch just feels pretty good. I'm just afraid that they won't kill the pad in the next patch, but let's just go hope for it. I'm just waiting this new patch just to smash the game to practice. When I just saw the news about this new patch, I just stopped the game a little to wait this new patch.
Yeah, I think the new patch is going to be interesting to see how that all plays out, because some of the new patches that F1, that must have brought in previous games, haven't delivered entirely. So we'll see how that all works out, and hopefully things stay the same in terms of pace for you. So well done once again, mate, and we'll be looking out for you in the next few races, and hopefully you can deliver the same sort of results.
Okay, thank you.
No worries, mate. CRG Pinecone, P3 in the end. Kind of were in touch with the top 2. How was that race for you?
It was pretty awful, to be honest. Like Leopard, I had the same thing where I got given a completely different setup on the grid to mine. And the problem is,
Great.
it wasn't even remotely similar. Like, it was probably literally the opposite philosophy to what I was going for. So the car felt really, really strange. Through the high speed, it was just scrubbing across the surface, no rotation whatsoever. Slow speed, the rear was very nervous going into it. So yeah, it was really, really strange having to adapt to that. Yeah, I mean, I think in practice, like a PB in the first stint was like a 30.8. I think in that race I did like a 31.6, 31.7. So it was a big time delta that I was losing with that setup compared to what I was used to and what I'd practiced with. Um, so yeah, it was always going to be a struggle. But to be honest, I actually felt really happy with how I drove that race. I felt like I was driving pretty well, but yeah. And then for some reason my brain decided the race was 29 laps when it was actually 26. So I thought I had to go 3 laps longer to make the end than I did. So then that dropped me out the DRS train for the lead. So yeah, that was my race. Happy with how I drove. The setup thing's just ridiculous, to be honest, because I bet now my setup's been given to someone else and put quite a bit of work into it. So it's a bit of a shame that that's happening. But at this level, it's just not. It can't be happening really, to be honest. Like, but yeah, it is what it is, and I suppose it's a good team result in it. 1-3, 40 points. So I suppose it's pretty good for WILCRA.
Delvey, yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, I was gonna mention about the first stint. You went quite long, in comparison to most. I think yourself
Yeah.
and JD went quite long. I guess was that because obviously you thought it was long, the race was
Yeah,
longer than it really
exactly.
was, or yeah. That's
I thought I had to make lap 11 because I knew I could do 18 laps on the final on the medium tyre. So I thought I had to get to lap 11 because for some reason I thought it was 29 laps, but actually I needed to get to lap 8, which was when I think Leopard and Cyril all pit. So yeah, that was put an end to that. But yeah,
yeah, and obviously the undercut on this game is quite powerful
yeah,
as
it's
well. So yeah,
ridiculous. Like, I think it was
and
like
obviously
2-3 seconds when I came out of the pits, like 2 laps. So.
And on the last game, I mean, it seemed like having younger tires were an advantage towards the end of the race, but on this game, it seems to be like hardly any advantage to have that. So that's like absolutely just killed it. Limitless actually was closing you up in the last stages. Was that more you just struggling with the setup as time went on, or was he just generally just faster than you towards the end? How was that the last sort of few laps for you?
Yeah.
I think JD was like 2 seconds back, I think, and then
Yeah.
closed up
He
to
did a
sort of
really good job today.
second,
Actually, he was really consistent because every time I made a mistake, I'd just see that gap come down. It was really consistent today. I think it wasn't just set up, but it was more that I completely drained my fuel in ERS just trying to keep up with the two leaders. But of course, like them two together, it was always quite hard, and then came under attack a bit from the end. But I knew he had a time penalty, so I didn't have to do anything silly, take too much risk with the track limits, and I could just bring it home to a podium. But, yeah.
Fair play, mate. Yeah, and again, as you mentioned, good points for your team, WOR and LCR, and you extended advantage over ILR Black going into the next race in Germany. But I think that's it, unless Ben's got anything extra to add. Ben, you got anything to say? Or
No, he spoke for me, I think. I'm
that's
honest.
fine. That's fine. Awesome. So that has been round 10 of URC Xbox 1 Tier 1. We'll see you in the next couple of weeks for the German Grand Prix. That'll be in 2 weeks' time on this date, on this day. So in 2 weeks' time. So we'll see you for round 11 of the season at Germany. Thank you for watching, guys, and we'll see you in a bit.